Joining us on the phone, we have Captain Tim Ferrie, the Sandy Hook pilot who boarded the USNS Comfort in Port Amboy, New Jersey, and docked it at Pier 90 in the New York harbor. We had the honor of interviewing USNS Comfort's commanding officer, Patrick Amersbach. He indicated that the Comfort is slightly larger than 3 football fields. Is the USNS Comfort the largest ship you have brought into New York harbor?
No, we are now handling ships that are on a routine basis that are 1,200 feet long and 158 feet wide that are 14,000 TEU container ships coming in and out of the port. So that is not the largest ship I've ever handled.
When we were recently on the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Catherine Walker here in New York Harbor, Captain Jacobson described the dynamic positioning system that maneuvers the ship. Can you describe the inner workings of the Comfort's power and electrical systems that make it different from other larger vessels?
Well, she was built on the Comfort and the Mercy were rebuilt from the hulls of San Clemente class tankers that were oboe ships, oil bulk ore carriers. And, she was designed as a hospital ship on the original hull of what would be considered an oil tanker. And she has a skewed propeller on her. She handles very well. She has a regular steering station with a steering wheel and a helmsman. She's 29 feet of draft. She had a good rudder on her. She handled extremely well coming into the port on Monday. So, Captain Walker is a completely different class of vessel, that's designed to be stationary alongside a buoy and hold position. That's what dynamic positioning is. Whereas, your other classes of ships are designed to, go ahead and go astern, but really not have that kind of capability to just stay alongside.
Meteorology and oceanography played a role in the Navy's preparation to safely transition the Comfort to New York. As you were on the bridge, can you describe Comfort's computerized systems that you found especially interesting? Were there any more advanced than other cargo vessels?
No. She had your standard ECDIS displays and radars, and we see that on all ships. So there was nothing on there that was out of the ordinary that I hadn't seen before.
And then, can you describe the feeling of bringing the USNS Comfort under the Verrazano Bridge?
Oh, well, that's a good question. By the time we got to the Verrazano Bridge, I was very emotionally affected by what was going on with the reception and greeting the ship. When I got aboard at sea, I've been aboard other Navy ships and, I've had some high-profile jobs in my career, but I realized coming up the channel that this was something special. We had put a flag aboard that was in a crate when I got aboard out at sea. And when they hoisted that flag, it was the New York State flag. I'd never seen a flag that big before, and it gave me goosebumps when I went out on the bridge wing to take a look back at it, and it was stretched out with the breeze. And I realized that this job was going to be something special.
Speaking of how you got onto the Comfort, are all the boardings kind of the same, or was this one different?
No, it was the same. I actually went to see on Sunday night. I had a tanker out of Fort Reading, New Jersey, on Sunday evening, and then I slept on a pilot boat and went off to board the Comfort at 7:45 in the morning on our 53-foot launch from the station boat, pilot boat, New York, and climbed up the Jacob's ladder, where I normally climb, and got aboard.
And switching topics a little bit, can we just ask your personal feelings of whether protective masks should be worn on the bridge as you performed your job?
Well, we see that more so today than ever. I've been on ships where everyone has a mask on, and I've been on ships where people don't have masks on, and it's kind of a mixed bag right now. But as you know, everything's changing by the day. So I did wear a mask aboard the Comfort when I climbed up the side of the ship. I had a mask with me.
And then I imagine that every Sandy Hook pilot has the talent and capability to operate a ship the size of the USNS Comfort. How is it determined who gets to take Comfort out to sea when the time comes for her to leave New York City?
It'll be the pilot with the turn. So I had the turn for inbound in the sea company, and the pilot with the turn in the office will be assigned 4 hours ahead of time to take her to sea.
So it's kind of whoever is available and on duty at that point, that's when they get to take it out to sea?
That's correct. It has nothing to do with seniority. In the business, it's who has the turn at the moment.
And then, so a few days ago, there was a beached whale at Jacob Riis Beach. What are your personal feelings on how ship strikes between whales and ocean-going vessels can be reduced?
Well, we're doing our part during the spawning season. 6 months of the year, we have to maintain 10 knots or less for what we call whale speed, and we do pay attention to that. The only time that's deviated from is if it's a navigational issue for the ship or weather conditions. But other than that, we adhere to the regulations for whale speed.
Is there anything else you would like to add that we didn't cover that you think would be of interest?
You interviewed the commanding officer, and it's interesting that, obviously I got to meet him, and he gave me a challenge coin, which Navy officers carry with them, and it's very prestigious to get one, and he made a special point to give me one, and had a lot of nice, kind words to say about the job that was done and being very professional. And I told him, I said, it was my pleasure, and we were here for their, to serve them, and it was just my distinct honor to be able to bring that ship in. It was the proudest moment of my whole career.
What are those coins? What do they signify?
Well, they don't hand them out to everybody. Usually they're handed to another officer, and it's quite a souvenir to have from a commanding officer, and I've received some from other naval vessels from their commanders, but this one is extremely special because of the it signifies the USNS Comfort, and on the other side it has the commanding officer's name on it, and I just was very touched by him going out of his way to give me that coin. It was the first time I was ever on it. It truly was the highlight of my career. I was never more proud than to bring that ship in on Monday.
Thank you so much for your time and letting us interview you on New York Harbor Channel.